Hi, George here. And in this fast Photoshop Elements video, I'll show you how to use the gradient tool. We'll be going for this as our finish, and we'll be starting off with this image right here. Now, I'll be covering the basics of using gradients in Photoshop Elements in this video. If you want to find out a lot more about how to use gradients, I have all that in my Photoshop Elements Photo Coach. It's a great learning and reference tool for working with Photoshop Elements. If you're curious about that, I'll put a link for that at the top of the description. I'll also be putting in step-by-step instructions for this video. You'll find that in the project guides section. And we're basically going to be putting in a gradient on the sky, putting on some text and a gradient in the text, and of course some standard touch-ups on the image as well. The first one right here is there's a guy standing in the background, just kind of ruining our shot right there. Let's get rid of him first. This is the easy part. I'll just use the clone stamp tool on this. Grab the polygonal lasso tool. Let's make a little lasso right around his figure in here. Right in the sky like that. This is just a protective mask to make this easier. Let's go over here to the clone stamp tool. I have mine set with a soft brush, and the size is 27. Looks like a pretty good size for this. And go over here someplace on the horizon, hold the Alt key down, click right on the horizon, and then come over here inside where you want to, clone stamp 2. Align that horizon up, right there, and then just paint in and take out his figure. That's all you have to do. There we go. That's done. Control D, and we're done. Okay. I'll do Control 0 to fit screen again. Let's make a new layer out of this one. Right-click on background, duplicate layer. Okay. Now, normally, I wouldn't make any changes on the original layer. I'd only work on the duplicate, but in this case, I know I have to get rid of that guy anyway, so that's going to be a permanent fix no matter what else happens. Now, on the background copy up here, we're going to be working on the sky area. So I want to select out the sky. And for this, I'll just do a fast selection. A good selection, you take your time in here. I'd probably use the polygonal lasso tool. If you want to get the horizon, hat, feet, the pole, and the umbrella up here, and only have just the sky selected, you can't do that with the select subject. It's not going to be giving you the right stuff, so you have to hand do this one. And I'd probably use the polygonal lasso tool and just take my time and do a real careful selection. In this case, we'll save the time on that, and I'll just use the magic wand, which should be good enough, and click into the sky over here. And I have my tolerance at 17, which is pretty low. And notice I was only grabbing just one spot. I can't move it around. So to fix that, come down here and click on Add instead of New. We can then add in the additional sections that we want, like this. And then click over here and come down here. That adds that in and right over here. And there we go. This would be good enough for this demonstration. That's all I care about. And right up in that little corner right there. Okay, so we have our sky selected. The little spot right there. There we go. And I want to put a gradient into this selection. Now, just as a safety here, let's just make a layer mask on this one. Here we go. So we have a layer mask in the shape of the sky right there. You can see right there, the white part, that's the sky. Let's now add a new layer right here. And we'll go over to the gradient tool. There we go. Now in the gradient tool, click on the gradient itself over here. This brings up the gradient editor right here. And you'll probably see something like this, black and white. Now you can choose any of these gradients up in here if you want to, or even choose more gradients from our drop-down list. But I don't want that. I want to have a custom gradient. I want to have just two colors on here. So I'll choose the black and white first. That gives me the gradient with the two colors. Now, if you click onto the color stop right down here, that selects that. I can then change the color here. Click on this. Brings up the color stop color picker, or I can go over here and just grab something from the sky. Let's say I want to take this to the dark side up here. I'll click right at the top. So that's our existing color. I want to have this darker and more blue. So I'll just pull this down like this. So it's darker and more blue. It's more saturated right-hand side, less saturated left-hand side. So more saturation to the right, lighter at the top, darker at the bottom. So more saturation and darker is down and to the right. I'll do something kind of like that. That's good. Choose OK. Let's now go over to this side. Click on this color stop. That selects this one. Same thing. Go back over here. Now, I also can click on the arrow right here and then choose right from the swatch set if you want to, if there's something in here that you like. Let's just choose this CMYK cyan. We'll use that as a starting point. Then click on the color picker. And I can then come in here and adjust this. I'm going to go a little bit less saturated and a little bit lighter at the same time. It's kind of over to the left and up just a little bit. Kind of like that. There we go. So we have a nice medium dark blue down here and a nice kind of lighter end cyan right there. This will be our gradient. Now for the sky, I want to have it dark at the top and light at the bottom. and just in the sky range. So let's go right up here, right up on top of the image. See, I'm right here. There's the umbrella. Here's the cyan part of that. Right above that, hold the Shift key down and then pull straight down. The Shift key makes this a perfectly vertical line. Then come down past the horizon line and let go. And here's our gradient. Now it's covering up our whole image. Easy to fix. Go over here to our layer mask right here, which we previously made. Hold the Alt key down, pull that straight up. That copies that layer mask straight up. And there's our new sky put in. That easy. Now this is a lot more saturated, so we need to fix the saturation values of our foreground subject in here. So let's come down here to the background layer. We'll be doing it right down here. Since all we're seeing on this layer is just the sky part of that. So come to your background layer. Let's go up to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and we'll do Levels first. I'll just check that. We don't have to check that, but I'll go ahead and I'll just check that. And in here, the middle control to the left will lighten things up. To the right darkens them down. I'm going to go a little lighter on that, just a little bit. And then the left is your black, so I'll pull that in. That increases the black side contrast. Right-hand side is your white, so I'll pull that up. That's the white side contrast. So we just added more contrast, and we've lightened up the midtones a little bit, and that looks a lot better. If you come down here, click on this eye, you can see here's our before and here's our after. So it's a lot punchier and nicer in there. Also want to have some more saturation. We have full saturation on our sky, or almost full saturation. So I want more saturation in our foreground colors. So same idea. Go up to Layer, come down to New Adjustment Layer. This time choose Hue Saturation. Check that checkbox, choose OK. And take the saturation to the right just a little bit. If you go too far, it does that. You don't want that. So just a little bit to the right, just a little bit more color. You'll see this mostly changing up in the umbrella. You see that right there. So just a little bit to the right, making those colors just a little bit brighter. There we go. Now the colors in our foreground here are bright enough to actually work with the bright sky in the background. So that's good. All we have left now is just the text in here. And for that, start off with a brand new layer. There we go. This just guarantees that our text comes in on a nice clean layer. Grab the type tool. You can use any typeface you want in this. Right now I have this set up for Gill Sans Ultra Bold Regular. It's a pretty good type size. The highest on your drop-down list is 72, but you can type in any size you want down here. I have 134. You come over here, left-hand side someplace. Just click right here. And if you're in Photoshop Elements 2025 or later, you're going to be getting this Greeking text automatically. If you're not, I'll just hit the delete key. You'll just get an insertion point like that. Just type in summer. There we go. Now it's too big. So double click on this and let's bring our size down until it fits into the page. There we go. And I think I'll double click again. Let's just put this in all caps. There we are. And just find a good spot for that. I kind of like having the feet showing. So let's just put this right here. Now this should snap to the middle, and it is doing that for me. Kind of see it snap right there. That's our center point. All right, now I want to have a gradient inside of this. Now for that, we'll do the same trick as before. I'm going to leave my text layer alone. Hold the Control key down, click on the text thumbnail right here. Let's go up here to a new layer like that. Go over to our gradient tool. And this time I want to have the gradient reversed, backwards. So bring my beginning point down here below the M right here. Hold the Shift key down and pull straight up. I'm using the same gradient, but it's coming in reversed. And then Control D to deselect. So there's our reversed gradient. Then to make this interesting, I want to change the color in here, and I'll do that with blend modes. Let's now hide this layer. So we have the summer in behind, it's white. And then we have our gradient layer on top of that. Now I want to blend this gradient layer into that white layer, but I want to make it different than the background. We're starting off with the background gradient color as our base, but I want to make this opposite of that. So let's go up here to our summer text layer right here. And let's change the blend mode, come down to difference, which is the exact opposite. So now I have oranges to work with instead of blues. And they're now complementary colors directly across from each other on the color wheel. Let's now increase the saturation and the values of this text layer. Again, that's our layer right up here. Go up to Layer, come down to New Adjustment Layer and Levels. We'll do this one first. Use Previous Layer, choose OK. I can then lighten that up or darken that down right down here on the controls. Go like that, bring my dark end in. So I'm just increasing the contrast right now. There we go, it looks pretty good. Let's increase the saturation on this one again. Go up here to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, Hue Saturation. Check that checkbox, choose OK. A little more saturation. So it really pops out. There we go. And the nice thing about this technique is that we are basing the colors of the letters on the colors that are right behind the letters. So there's a perfect match on that, which makes these colors work out very well together. And lastly, I want a white outline around the letters. So let's go ahead, we'll do that. Come down to our summer letter layer right here, our gradient layer. Let's go up to Layer, come down to Layer Style, Style Settings, and Stroke. Let's change the color here to a white. That's upper left-hand corner right there. Just click in here someplace, drag upper left-hand corner like that. Now, normally this is set at outside. You don't want that because if I go larger on this, it kind of blocks things up. I don't want that. So what I'll do instead is come in here and change this to inside. That way the outside shape of the letters stays the same. And I can control the thickness, and it's only controlling it inside, but it's not changing the outside shape or the silhouette of our letters. And there we go. And again, if you want to find out more about gradients, I have a lot more information for this in my Photo Coach for Photoshop Elements. You'll find a link for that at the top of the description. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any videos in the future, and I'll see you next time.